welcome everybody to Tales from the Tackle Shop. My name's Andy Page, and as always, my co-host is fast becoming the match fishing legend, Alex Bates.
Good evening, Andy. You all right, mate?
Yeah, I'm very good. You have a big smile on your face.
Yeah, well, I think the podcast charm definitely worked for us, our boys, on Sunday. And thankfully, we were the right end of a very, very, very close match on Sunday. But I think we're going to cover that in the match results. And yeah, I can sleep this week, put it that way.
Well, it's good news. So I'm not going to steal your thunder, and I'll wait for you to unveil that. Now, we had a fantastic response a couple of weeks ago when we unleashed the Spalt on our listeners. He was here for about 7 hours. So I've actually got so much material, it's ridiculous. So we've actually got Spalt Part 2 tonight. It actually lasts an hour and 9 minutes. So myself and Alex are going to keep our little bits quite short because everybody wants to listen to John because he is brilliant. But before we burst into that, just something that I want to broach with everybody. I will give far more details next week. And if you listen to next week's podcast, you'll understand why I'll keep it to a minimum this week. But we've had a few issues on the local drains of yet more fish thefts. Not wishing to get all political, but it has stemmed from Eastern European people. I'll explain next week how we know what nationalities they are. But I would just like to thank Paul Thomas from the Volunteer Bailiff Scheme and the volunteer bailiff that he contacted who went out to an incident on Monday and searched a long stretch of bank. That was fantastic. So, Paul, that was a great response. And also I'd like to just thank Kai Jeremy from the Environment Agency. I know that they've been out today. I will read out their press release in next week's podcast. But basically, they, off the information that myself and a couple of other anglers gave them, they launched the boat. They searched long stretches of 2 drains in search of deadlines, illegal fishing and so forth. And it's just great that they were able to respond to this. But obviously, we've got a lot of material this week. Don't want to delve too much, but I just wanted to thank both the Environment Agency and the Volunteer Bailiff Scheme because they have responded really well to what is quite a serious problem that we have in this area. Right, trying to keep it all positive, I think we need to burst straight into Spalt.
So the Eel Man is what you're really known for. A lot of people didn't realise you were a shrimp boat captain and a chief lugworm or black whatever lugworm digger. It's probably why you got bad back in it, Spalt.
No, I ain't got a bad back anymore, mate.
Never.
Yeah, no, it's gone. Yeah,
No.
well, I had a real bad back, didn't I?
Yeah.
And I went to the doctors about it, and he said, how do you get about in your eel boat? I said, well, I use an outboard. He said, well, just for a few months, just row.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I rowed for 6 months solid, all summer, and my bad back's disappeared.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah,
Amazing, isn't it?
And I could hardly stand up sometimes.
So you used to struggle, didn't you, getting up and down the bank
Yeah.
and stuff with your seat box and that?
Yeah, that's all gone.
Yeah, so obviously the eel fishing, you're not the guy with the wicker basket type thing. You are
mate, no,
proper licenses. So if you could talk us through all the licenses and how you set your nets and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, no, all the wicker baskets used to work when there was more eels than there was water. But
yeah,
the trouble is, when I started, there was a lot of eels about, but there's every Tom, Dick and Harry was eel catching. And but slowly but surely, as it got worse and worse and worse and worse, so you could hardly make it pay, they've all disappeared. And about, I don't know, 12, I've been eel catching, I think, 30 years. I think I have.
bloody hell.
Anyway, about 15 years ago, the EA rang me up and said, will you take us out for a couple of days and show us, we're going to put some overpasses in. Show us where to put some overpasses. I said, well, surely you know, it's your job. That's the same unit that Kai works in.
Yeah.
It was his boss that actually came out. And anyway, I thought, oh, right, everywhere I go eel fishing, I'm going to have an overpass put in.
Mm-hmm.
Took them all up the coast everywhere and give them the due, they've put them in. They have cost a lot of money. Some of them, I think the EA have been ripped off, to be fair. I mean, they work, but I reckon me and you with a mini digger could do one for a third of the cost. A third of the cost of...
I wonder what that sound
yeah,
was
my
there.
bloody phone going off.
sold something on eBay, I reckon.
Yes, yeah. Since
Sold
they,
one of his teeth, probably.
yeah. Ain't many left, I'll tell you. I've had to sell most of them.
Well, it's the mitten crabs calling.
Yeah,
Yeah. The mitten crabs might be calling. Since they put the overpass in, they are working a treat. They're just, I think they're hard to maintain though, so they're not working 100%.
So, sorry, so how do they work then, Spalt?
Well,
the eel passes,
the Elvers, the tidal river
Yep.
and the sea are full of eels.
right?
Always have been.
Yep.
And the Elvers have been coming up to the doors, and as soon as they hit the doors, they make their way up the wooden doors into the whichever river they've come up to.
Mm-hmm.
The EA, in their wisdom, have took all the wooden doors out and put steel doors in. Of course, the Elvers come up to the doors now; they can't get up because it's sheer steel.
Mm-hmm.
So they put these little overpasses in the side. All it is like a weir, a reverse weir, if you like. So there's water dribbling down the seaward side, and the Elvers pick the flow up, and they go through a little channel which has got like brush bristles, upside down bristles, and they weave their way through there. They go under the bank through a tube, out into the freshwater side, down a slope, and they make their way wherever they want to be. And since they've done that, there's been thousands and thousands and thousands of Elvers coming up. Not every year. Some years are really good, some years are really poor. But they're definitely in France this year, the Elver fishermen caught their full quota in 2 weeks of the year. Thousands,
Really?
I can't remember how many thousands it is, but it's thousands and thousands. So they're definitely starting to come back. And this year, especially, I've thrown loads back, about 2 or 3 ounces, that are too small to sell. And I've thrown a lot of them back. So it's a wonder, really, they haven't started coming up in the fishing matches.
Yeah.
But basically, all you do, you set your nets. When I was younger, I could remember where I put them, but now I can't. So I use a GPS now. But that's a
Cool, you have gone up market.
yeah,
Spalt.
I have, mate. Yeah, the trouble is it's too
Really?
upmarket. I still don't quite know what I'm doing. I've been using it 3 years now, but now I just pull up anywhere down the river, use no marks whatsoever. Not like years ago, you used to use a tree, a bush, or something like that, a fence post, and put your nets in, and hope they were still there when you went back. Now you just drive down the river, half a mile, quarter of a mile, press a waypoint on your GPS, put your net in, move on to the next one. And when you come back to your net, you just come back to your waypoint, throw your grapple in, pick your net up, then make your way down. But what I've learnt, I'm still learning to be fair, 30 years on, but what I have learnt is, say there's 15, 20 mile of river, there might only be a few hundred yards in that whole 15 mile where the eels like to live. And that's the skill, is learning that. I can give you 100 nets today, you could go put 100 nets in and you won't catch anything. And it's took that long, even now to this day, to learn the watercraft, if you like, where they are.
So what sort of things do you look for then? Different times of year, are they in different
Yeah,
places?
yes. Some drains they fish well April, May. Other
Yep.
drains they fish well September, October, November. You know, so the tidal fishes well in the summer, but not in the winter.
Right.
You know, nobody will tell you anything, and it's the same with me. I have people say, "Can I come with you?" I said, "No."
Yeah.
You know, it's not turned me into a Billy No Mates, if you like, but it's turned me. I don't want
Into a
anybody with me.
Fenland creature.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I've got another mate as an eel fisherman, Jack Spall. I believe you know him.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do, mate. Yeah, from Norfolk Broad.
Yeah, he took me out.
Did he?
Yeah, about 6 years ago. I was in a little 10-foot sniper,
Yeah.
and to this day, he's just said, "Andy, do not tell anybody where I'm taking you." And it was amazing going out with him and his son Harvey.
Yeah.
It's brilliant watching him pull up the nets and set the nets.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Alex. It's more secretive than pike fishing.
Yeah, it
There's
is.
something about these boat people, isn't it? Anything
Yeah,
to do
yeah.
with a boat, they're a
Yeah.
bit of secret squirrel, aren't they?
The only people I've got with me is my dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
we're up to 4 crew at the minute.
4. So who's in the crew now then?
Well, I've got Jack. Everybody remembers Jack from fishing.
Yeah.
He died when he was 16, but just before he went, there's 2 bloody Jack. Well, I wish I'd never got them now. They will not shut up. I bought 2 Jack Russells off Gumtree, free to a good home
Yeah.
from Norwich. So I got them, but they'll keep Jack company till he drops. Anyway, he kept going for about another bloody year. He's buried at Sandringham. He is.
Jack is, yeah.
Yeah, Jack is. And,
Did the Queen reside over the funeral? Or?
No, but she could probably see where I buried him from a bedroom window, I guess.
We'll come back to the Queen.
Yeah. But when he died, we buried him. One of the gamekeepers said, well, I've got a spaniel, 8-year-old spaniel you can take back with you, China. She's called China because she's got Chinese-looking eyes. Anyway, she's now 13.
Can I just say, this podcast is becoming very unpolitically correct.
It is.
Yeah.
But we are all feminine creatures,
Yes,
so it's all
we
right.
are,
Yes.
Yeah. And anyway, I thought, she's now 13. I thought, I better get another one before she keels over. I was looking through Gumtree the other week, and there's this Newfoundland for sale. And I looked at one thing is my missus hates dogs. She hates fishing, hates dogs. We've been married 40
dogs, and you go fishing every day.
Yeah, we've been married 42 years. I think it's because we never see each other that we get on so well. And anyway, I saw the ad on the Monday. Oh, Newfoundland, he looks good. He's brown and white. And I left it for a week. I thought, I daren't get him. He'll be a monster. Anyway, I flicked it. There's nothing on telly on the Friday night. I was flicking through the Gumtree again, and it's still there. So I text them. I said, Gus's name is. Have you still got Gus? This message come back, yes, we have. So I sent them a picture of the Eel Man Chronicles book. I said, this will be the life he will now have. About 2 seconds later, after she got the message, you better come and fetch him. Right? Little did I know, he was in a 1-bedroom flat, 3 stories up in the middle of Glasgow. So what I did, I jumped in the van Saturday morning, drove 347 bloody miles to Glasgow and picked him up. But he was shut inside the flat 13 hours a day by himself. So they said when I picked him up, they said he's a bit amorous. Well, have you ever tried telling a 6-stone Newfoundland he can't shag anything he wants? So he's had the chop since. He weighs 6 stone. My mate says, where's his sleep? I said, anywhere he Right, so anyway, he's had the chop. He's a different dog now. All he wants to do is muck about all day. He eats crayfish like there's no tomorrow. Trouble is, he likes live eels as well, and he's munching me profits. But he's awesome. So at the minute, I've got 4. So
you got 2 Jack Russells,
2 Jack Russells, a Spaniel, which Chris Jenkinson, if you remember Chris Jenkinson.
Yeah.
Well, he sent the thing when I got Gus. He said, you're a legend, Spalt.
Yeah.
When I went and picked Gus up. Yeah, so they come with me every day in the boat.
So you've always got company when you're out in
Yeah,
the middle of nowhere.
Instead of talking to myself, going mad, I talk to them. So.
Yeah. Mad, isn't it?
Spalt, show us how you set these nets up, because I sat this net on your lap
Yeah,
about 20 minutes ago, and I feel bad now.
Luckily, it's not been in the
Hold
water.
on a minute, I'm going to video you.
What are you going to do?
You've got to talk at the same time.
Oh, right. Just hold that.
Hold on a minute. Alex, hold that.
I'll hold the net.
You hold the net. We're all over the place. I'll take over the talking, right. Hold on, let's start this. Where are we?
We'll put that on the floor, Alex.
Yeah.
This is a single. They do doubles and singles, wing nets and silver nets.
Right, I'm going to have to talk for your Spalt. So I've got Alex at one end. Yep. And this is a single or double?
This is a single.
This is a single.
A double wouldn't fit in your kitchen.
Which is the dog end? Is it this end?
Double, mate.
The dog end? Do they call it dog end?
Cod end.
Cod end. Cod end. A dog end.
Dog end, that's in the cigarette. The eel hits this.
So the eel hits... What is that called?
This is the leader.
The leader, yep.
Self-explanatory.
Eel hits the leader,
Leads them in.
and then it runs straight into the... Not the dog end, the cod end.
Cod end. They go through that first trap,
Yep.
which is
Just explain that guard thing.
yeah. That's by law now. You've got to have otter guards.
So you've got an otter guard in there.
Yeah. The otters can't get in.
Yeah, to stop the otters getting
One
in.
good thing about otter guards is you don't get any fishing anymore. You get odd perch and little baby tension bits and little pikelets about a pound. That's about the maximum that can go in there.
So I don't know if that's picked up on the mic, so it stops most of the fish going in as well.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Yes.
So if you can't get back to your net, it's not the end of the world anymore. It's not full of bloody bream.
And then the eels just run down the bottom end.
Yeah, and once they get into that trap at the bottom, that's it. They're caught.
Yeah.
But what I can never understand is they can actually go into this first trap,
Yep.
turn around and come out, but they never do.
They just keep going straight line.
Yeah, they just keep going.
That's amazing. So where's your registration tag go? Does it go? It goes.
Yeah. Me being as law abiding as
You
I
are
am.
law abiding. Yes. There's your tag
There's
goes
your
on
tag.
there. Yeah. So every net has to have a.
Every net, if you put a double net in, you have to put 2 tags on.
Right. So
But on a single net, and every year they change colour.
every year have a different colour, and you have to have a tag on each net.
Yeah.
Perfect.
If you don't have a tag on and they pull your net out, you'll get a fine of £100 for. Well, it was £100 because I did get done when I first started.
Yeah. When you first start things, you don't know, do you? But
Well, I had 6 nets in a row. 5 of them had tags on and 1 didn't.
right.
I
Okay.
genuinely forgot. But I still got them bloody
Hmm.
done. So,
Perfect. That's brilliant. Okay. Right. Let me just stop that there. Let me get you back over here, and let's just get set up again. 1 second, Alex.
I see a lot of your fishing sport was team fishing.
yeah, I loved it.
I mean, you got me into the team fishing, and for a lot of anglers sort of say to me, "Oh, why do you go on the drains and catch £3 of fish?" And you know, you haven't caught a lot. But it's hard to explain to them that when you're fishing as a team and all week you prepare, and you don't want to let your team down, and you draw a bad section, but you still got to do your bit for the team. And there's just something about it, isn't there? When you
I used to like team fishing. You used to get mad sometimes when you weren't picked.
Yeah, that's frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, but when I changed from Mark 1 to Swinnows, like that was mild. I learnt so much,
Yeah.
especially bloodworm fishing. I couldn't catch a cold on bloodworm fishing. In the end, without playing my own trumpet, I got good at it, especially on canals. I used to fish that Trent Mersey winter league.
Misery.
Oh yeah,
Erie wash.
everywhere I went, I had £7. Swinnow couldn't believe it. I did blank once, I think, but other than that, I drew the end peg behind the railway track once. Don't know where it was. I said to Swinnow, "What's that like?" He said, "It's absolute crap, Spalt." He said, "I can't help you." I said, "Right there, mate." Anyway, I got to my peg, and the railway track was literally right behind. You had to ship up at a bit of an angle to miss it. And a train come by. I thought, bloody hell, the whole canal vibrated, and I turned round, and the whole canal was full of roach in front of me. So every time a train went by,
Sounds like John Taylor peg.
yeah, well, not, yeah, sort of, he gets them every week though, doesn't he? And I'd £8 that day, and Darren Cox was a bit further up. He had £8. But what we didn't know was, I think we both had £8.4. What we didn't know was the scales only went up to £7. The bloke that weighed us in without a twin weigh, double weigh.
Right.
So we would have had more. So I don't know what I had, you know. But I was quite happy with £8.4. I think we've become joint third or something like that.
Yeah.
But that was lovely fishing up there. I loved it.
What about French Drove? You used to have a bit of a
Yeah,
run
yeah.
on there for a spell, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, when times are hard, they still are hard, but not as hard as what they were then. I was down to my last £6 I'd got in the world, and this is when I was shrimping, and it was blowing a gale, and I couldn't go. So there's a Pete Brooks used to run the matches there then, and I said to my missus, "Oh, I'm going down French Drove, I think, fish that open." She said, "Well, you're not going to take the last £6 we've got." Yes. Film, what's it called? Film something.
It's taken me half an hour to find that.
Yeah. And where was we? French Drove.
French Drove.
Yeah. That's it. What's it called? I can't remember the programme there.
Film.
No.
Film review show.
Yeah, it wasn't called that, mate. That is the music, but it wasn't called that. It was called. Oh dear, I can't remember. Something else for you to look up.
Not Michael Parkinson.
No, not Michael
Definitely
Parkinson.
not Michael Parkinson.
No, not Michael Parkinson.
Helps to look for the right person.
Yeah. Yes, I went down French Drove with the last £6 we got in the world, and I won. I only won 30 quid,
Yeah.
but that gave us enough food for the next week. And I won 600 quid, I think, that winter. A lot of years ago now. And that was more than I'd earned shrimping. And I just I had a broken 3-metre whip. And then we didn't have platforms. I think Dale Stones had just made the first one of his platforms. And I did eventually buy one of them. And it paid for itself on Hound. I was next to Pete Wills. I had a £10. I had Bob behind me. I was casting, I wasn't very good waggler fishing. And I was casting a waggler to a bush. I was last in my section. John Means was to my right. He got 3 tench and something else, I don't know. Pete Brooks was the other side. And I rate myself a bit better than Pete Brooks. And he was catching a fisher chuck on him, which I was obsessed with. And I couldn't get a bite on it. So I picked the waggler up. And throwing this bloody waggler at this bush. There's a bush.
I bet it was landing like a bag of shit.
Bob's come up. What sort of cast is that? Clunk. I didn't know what it was. Anyway, it's a bloody one-eyed carp when I got it. It probably couldn't see me coming, could it? £10 something it was. In fact, it came out a few matches later at £17, a few years later.
Really?
One eye, yeah. That cat, Pete Wills said, if you get that out, he said, I'll stand on my box and clap.
Yeah.
And I'd just got a Dale Stones platform. And I stood up, because I had AS1 then. And he made them for AS1 boxes so you could see them. And I couldn't get it in. Anyway, that shut Bob up anyway. So,
On your section.
yeah, I think I was second in the match or third in the match, yeah.
One-eyed carp on French Drove.
No, not French. That was on the Nina
Hound.
Hound. No.
Yeah, we skipped
No.
the venue.
Yeah, we missed French. Yeah, but
Yeah.
French Drove.
I wasn't paying attention. I was listening to
Yeah.
Barry Norman and Michael Parkinson.
Yeah. But nobody fishes French Drove anymore, and it is still full of fish.
Yeah.
But it's not like a vogue venue. People don't like it. A bit like Rat Bank. You either love it.
I mean, people say, Rat Bank's narrow and steep, but
Full of
they ain't
fish.
seen nothing yet, have they?
Yeah.
I mean, the worst one is Swan, isn't it?
Yeah. That's either good or
That
bad.
is a ditch.
Yeah.
That is a ditch.
They used to. I
It's
remember
like-
Johnny Bate. I had £30 once out of French Drove. The bream were coming down the match length. I could see everybody catching the bream. Anyway, I scrambled about in my box and I got a bag of manky old casters that were nearly flies. And I screwed them up, took them out of the bag, screwed them up and just slung them in the middle of French Drove. And I had 6 bream and 6 puttings.
The French Drove.
In French Drove, yeah. Ended up with 30 odd pound. Yeah. I had a load of roach as well.
I had a drive along the other day on my way back from Spalding, and it still looks exactly the same. There's a few fish near the pump station there and that.
But then, years ago, there were big matches when Polly and all them were really good. And they were all...
Really, was he good at drawing then as well?
Well, he's good at drawing then as what he is now.
Yeah.
And it was just... I just fished... I stood in my fire boots, because there wasn't no...
Not on your clogs then?
No, not then, no. And with a 3-metre whip, and just fed a bit of bread of chuck.
Man, it's weird how bread used to work on a venue like that, because...
Yeah, it won't work anywhere else.
Feed the ducks or anything, is it?
Yeah, I drew next to Mally one day. I won that one. I can't remember what weight I had. He was going ballistic, slamming his pole down, and good as knows else what.
Yeah.
And he didn't twig I was catching on bread. I kept telling him I was catching on pinky.
That's mad, isn't it? I mean, obviously you used to run the Bourne League as well, didn't you?
Yeah, Bourne League, yeah.
Town Welland and
Yeah, no, but the trouble is nobody else wanted to run them. They all started packing in, not running them. Of course, I thought, I'll take them on. And try to keep things going. But the best one was the King of the Fens. It got up to 70-odd anglers.
Yeah, it was a good league, wasn't it? It was a good league. Used to, I mean, that's something that we lack around here in the summer. I mean, I know there's loads of big money competitions now, Riverfest,
Yeah, that's where they all go,
Masters,
innit?
Fishermania, Golden Reel, Golden Rod, Maven Match this. There's so much big money matches. It's sort of taken that team mentality away, innit?
Yeah.
I can remember fishing. We used to fish Benwick in the summer, didn't we? That was
Yeah.
full of fish.
Yeah.
Wide Welland.
Wide
That was
Welland.
a feast or famine job, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
boil it, catch for 10 minutes, and then pack it up and fish for an eel. That was pretty grim. Where else did we fish?
Where else did we go? North Level.
North Level. That was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, North Level.
Oh, real good.
Yeah.
North Level.
Little sport.
Little Port. Yeah, that was good as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Certain times of the year.
It's just picking them the right times of the year.
That's the key, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the weather as well makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, like Town Welland, it's this year. I think there's more fishing than there ever has been. It's amazing. Yet last year there was hardly any fish.
Just the way that it's like eel fishing. It's either feast or famine. I mean, these mitten crabs. Well, we'll see a mitten crab in a minute. But these mitten crabs, they weren't here 6 or 7 years ago.
No.
And I think they're eating all the eggs.
Is that what's happening?
I'm sure they are. They're definitely burrowing into the bank. You don't see a mitten crab all summer at all. Hardly at all. You might catch 2 or 3 all summer. That's September the 1st, on the dot, they're there. Where they've been all summer, God only knows. But then as soon as they turn up, all I catch in my nets are crabs. Hardly an eel, no little baby perch, nothing, just crabs. And I think they just bully everything else out of the way. You know, where the crayfish are, I mean, I catch quite a lot of crayfish as well. But the crayfish, you get a bit of a mixture. But mitten crabs, you don't. There's even people catching them on rod and line there.
Yeah, what, mitten crabs?
Mitten crabs, yeah.
I've seen pictures on Facebook, people catching them in March Town Centre.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's surprising where crayfish and mitten crab get, really, isn't it? I mean...
Yeah. How's he done that? Yeah.
Yeah, they get everywhere, but it's not only what they're doing to the fish eggs, it's the banks as well, isn't it? They're causing a big
crayfish burrow. I've done a lot on the lark this year. The crayfish have burrowed themselves into the bank there, but not as bad as the crabs. The crabs go 6 foot in.
Really?
Yeah, at least 6 foot. And it just looks like, when the water drops, it just looks like loads of rat holes all the way along the riverbank. And they're either crabs or crayfish. The 20 foot is full of crayfish.
Is it?
I couldn't believe it. And cockbankers. So, I mean, cockbanks really got... I think I won the last proper big match on there with £3 odd.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That was the last round of the Winter League, as always, like it is this year.
Yeah.
Last round showdown. I think that... Were you fishing for Mark 1 then? Weren't
Yeah,
you?
I think I was, yeah.
Yeah, because that's the first
Yeah,
time...
because Curly was running the bank.
That's it. It was the first time... I think they were called Vandenine then, weren't they? Which was Swinno's team joined the league. And they were winning the league, weren't they? And I think Mark 1 was second at the time.
Okay,
right?
Yeah, probably.
And I think it all boiled down to Matt Hall went up the bank for a wee or something like that, and a little shoal of fish come through, didn't they? And 2 or 3 people caught a fish in that section, and he missed the boat, and that meant that they missed out on winning the league, didn't it?
Yeah. I had Josh Pace to me left when he was young.
He's still baby faced.
Yeah. Yeah. I did say that'd be a lesson to you, Josh.
Well, they do call him the young Spalt. Did you not know?
No, I didn't. Yeah.
Not because he looks like you, but for other reasons that we won't go into. But so young Spalt. Yeah, right. Then you had the red worm business. Talk to us about
red
that,
worm business. Yeah.
If we could get red worms now,
you can't get red worms.
No, red worms are like gold dust.
Mick Kelly was retiring. He said, "Spalt, do you want me red worm business?" I said, "Yeah, lovely." Anyway, trouble was it was near Papworth Hospital, so it's a bit of a trek.
Yeah.
When I got there, I couldn't believe it. There's 20 worm beds, beautiful worm beds. But the trouble was I didn't know what I was doing. Of course, I kept selling them and selling them and selling them. Everybody was going mad. But then it flooded. I didn't realise the little stream at the bottom of it was the Cam.
Right. Start of the Cam, yeah.
Yeah, and one year it flooded and it just drowned a lot. But I kept a few by and tried to get it started again. But because they're so long to breed, it in the end they gave up. But they were lovely worms, they were.
Yeah, for all the feeder fishing that goes on now, everyone's always after.
Yeah, you can't get they're mixed in with brandlings
that's
now.
That's the problem now. True red worms are really hard to get, And then, obviously, I've met the Ossett lads, and they're great. They're a
they
team,
are.
They're a good bunch of lads, and they think you're God. I don't know why, but
yeah. Where was I? Oh, I won my section on the. Well, I showed them what to do on the. I went up over the bank. That was with the green murk as well.
Yeah.
I went up over the bank. They were on the little port, all setting feeders up for bream, and I said, "Bin all that, look." That was when we was Dick Clegg Mark 1, and they were Dick Clegg Ossett.
Yeah.
And Mick North was in charge there then, but he just plays golf now.
Yeah.
And Mick Lodge rings me up every year to see how the drains are fishing, and and what have you. And I said, bin all that. Then I'd just sorted out the ooze rig for the...
Don't tell too many people about that. It's a secret.
don't they know about the ooze rig?
Well, they probably... Well,
Yeah. Anyway, I showed them all how to fish the ooze rig. And instead of fishing for bream on the feeder, I told them to fish for bits on the feeder on the far bank. Yeah. And they said, what about the cam? I said, well, I'm terrible on the cam. I said, I hate the river. I said, but if you all put 8 bait droppers full of worms in the middle of the cam, through the weed, I said, hopefully 2 or 3 of you, or 4 or 5 of you will catch a tench. And I think every one of them, bar one, caught a tench. In fact, the young lad, there's a 16-year-old down Dimmocks. He had to walk all the way down Dimmocks, and they were worried to death because he was a little roach beaver away. And he actually had 4 tench, I think, and a bream or something else on this 8 bait droppers full. I mean, while they thought I was God, there was an RAF match at, not Clay Hive, was it Clay Hive? Bottisham Lock.
Bottisham, yeah.
And we had to walk past the RAF match to practice. And I got loads of worms to dig on the marsh, so I drove all the way to the camp to show them where to sit and what to do. Then I had to go dig a load of worms on the marsh. I was too busy. Anyway, they've all set up. I stayed with them while they set up. They've all put these 8 bait droppers. The RAF match, they weren't catching a thing. All of a sudden, I've looked up. They're all into bream, every single one of them. Right? They just thought I was something that's landed from bloody space. They couldn't believe. They couldn't believe it. And on the day, well, they gave me a medal. They called me up on stage to give me a medal because they couldn't believe they won. You know, and since then they just think I'm like.
Yeah. Well, they also won the Winter League final as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, another reason to call you God. But
yeah, but I fished the semi-final for the Winter League on the Loughborough Canal. And this is what I learnt off Swinnow and them. He was just mega. And whatever he said worked. Like, you've still got to catch him, haven't you? I won my section with £5 on Joker. And I think there's a perch either side of me, I think. I don't think there was next to, you know. And I never know his name, the big old boy with glasses who fishes for Ossett. He was on... Abbo.
Yeah.
He was on the phone to Mick Lodge. And he said, Spalt's a god. He said, he's just getting fish here one after the other. He said, I can't get a bite. And it's only because Swinnow told me what to do.
Yeah, it's good at that bloodworm game, when it's Swinnow. Awesome. You don't see many bloodworm matches, especially around here. Nothing is.
No.
I think we've had this conversation before, why it really took off, but...
There's too many fish. You don't need it, mate.
No, don't need to, do you?
No, too many.
Don't need to.
You've only got to look at them weights at March Sunday. Why do you want bloodworm when you got weights like that?
You don't, do you? Definitely don't. But what would you say is your most memorable match win or wins?
Crikey. I won 2 Spalding back to back.
Yeah.
One that was frozen solid. And that's when Pete Jays was really... In fact, he walked... It was 10... I can even remember, it was 10 to 12. Nobody had a bite.
Yeah. And
as he walked up, I looked up. I thought, oh, that's Pete Jays walking about. I looked back, my float went under. And he said, "Hey, you had a bite yet, Spalt?" I said, "Pete, I've just had my first bite." Right? And he turned around and went. Never even stopped to speak. Right? I had £22. But the first match, the one previous, I hooked a £2.5 hybrid on him.
What, out of Town Welland?
Out of Town Welland. And that's what won me. There's loads of £20 weights that day. I think I had 24, 25. And so I had 2 of them back to back. And I was third on there with 33. Knowing what I know now, I'd have fished heavy elastic. I still kept fishing 2 elastic for pound roach.
You used to use latex, didn't you?
Yeah.
Latex.
Like it was across the other side of the river. But
Oh,
I did that because then big roach was in everybody's peg at the start.
Yeah.
And as soon as you threw something on top of the head, they moved. So if you didn't feed, and somebody sat behind me once, I didn't know he was there, and I was putting my hand in the bait box, chucking the hemp up the grass. Fish. Putting my hand in the bait box, chucking the hemp up the grass.
Another fen trick, eh?
Right, struck. And I didn't know he was there. He said, "No wonder you're catching those fish. He's not feeding, are you?" I said, "Yes, I am." He said, "No, you're not." He said, "Going in the grass." So he twigged, you know. But that was my fate. Everywhere I sat, I had an unbelievable year on there. You know.
You have years like that where everything
Yeah.
you do just works.
But it
doesn't
wants a team. It wants a team water. You know, we had some team matches on there, didn't we? But it's so
peggy. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Same with all these venues. The more fish, sometimes the more peggy it is, and
yeah.
yeah.
But I miss team fishing and I miss the crack,
Mm.
but I don't miss the hassle.
No.
So,
No.
knowing what I know now, looking back, I wouldn't have even put my name forward to run any matches.
Yeah.
But there you go. That's water under the bridge, isn't it? So.
Yeah. Right. Let's talk about crayfish and crabs.
I've been looking forward to this bit.
Mm.
I'm going to get my camera out.
Oh yeah.
We've got some proper wild creatures in my kitchen.
Yeah. These were
Great,
caught
yeah.
today, as it happens. Yeah. These
Fresh.
were
Freshly caught.
fresh, ready to bite your
And
arm
these, you
off.
say these are out of the 20-foot spot.
Both of these, well, there's 4 in there. They're both out the 20 foot. I've had about 10, 15 kilos of crayfish in the middle of the winter out the 20 foot today, and I've only had half a dozen crabs to be fair, but I have hammered the crabs a bit. So, I mean, a few weeks ago I was getting 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 kilo of crabs, but now they've eased up a bit. You know.
So so these crabs, what market are they going into? The food market? What?
Yeah, the Chinese love them.
Yeah.
But the worry is the EU are bringing a rule out that we might not longer be able to catch them.
Right.
Right, well then, I think in another 10 years, I mean I'll be 70s then, but I think that in 10 years' time the fishing will go downhill because the crabs are literally taking over.
Right.
But the EA won't issue a licence in case they're transported about and let go. But that will never happen because they only live in certain areas and they don't breed in fresh water, they only breed in brackish water.
Right.
So all they want to do is go to the brackish water to breed. So you could let 100,000 go in the 20 foot, they'd be gone from there to the sea to breed.
Well, Kai mentioned this, didn't he? They go on a bit of a march. That's how he
They
described it.
literally, and when you catch them, you march down the river with them. You put your nets in, catch them few, move your nets with them, and they make their way to the doors, and then they go. I mean, this year they've been out the bank, up over the top of the road, and back into the like something what you see on YouTube. I couldn't believe it.
Really? Do you think because it's been wet? Is that?
I don't know, mate. It's just a mega year. The same, there's hardly any roach anymore in the main rivers, is there? It's all rudd,
Yeah.
and I think it just goes in cycles.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what they're catching in March at the minute, all gustas and little skin bobs and bits and bobs.
Yeah,
Isn't
the roach are a bigger stamp.
there's no little
If
roach.
you used to fed squats 5-6 years ago,
Yeah.
full of little immature little roach. Whereas
No.
now
Yeah.
there's no small fish.
Yeah.
Every fish is a stamped fish.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something to do with the
Yeah,
crabs.
yeah, they definitely eat the fish eggs big time, and there is thousands and thousands. I mean, they're good money, so it's worth catching them. But they trash your nets. You've got to be on your nets every 2 or 3 days, or so just eat the way out.
Really?
And as soon as they get a hole in that, the eels are gone anyway. What eels you're looking for, they're gone, in and out.
When do they shed their shells?
Do you know? I don't know. In the summer, for a guess, spring.
I had a spell on a drain, and I now know what it was going on. These pike were eating mitten crabs,
Yeah,
and their belly, they were really fat pike. And when I used to hold them up for photographs, they had like hard bits,
yeah,
and obviously there were crabs in the bellies.
yeah.
And I used to find like loads of shells in one little area along
Yeah.
the bank,
Yeah.
and I reckon they were just going along and literally just when they were shedding the shells, just scooping them up.
They must do it in the summer sometime or the spring because I don't catch them then. Like the crayfish. The crayfish a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, they shed the shell in the middle of winter and breed and what have you. You know, they just switch off. All of a sudden, there's hardly been a crayfish on the 20. There's been food crayfish on the 24 all summer, but now it's full of them again.
These pike I had, it was January, February time. I found all these shells all in one area. It was the most bizarre thing ever. And I thought, what is going on here?
Yeah,
There's like 200 shells.
See, they can't eat them now because they're rock hard.
Yeah, they
The-
won't, no.
Yeah, they're like,
Will otters and mink and stuff like that eat?
yeah, otters will. Otters will eat them.
Yeah.
There's signs of otters eating them on the cut-off channel.
Is there?
But they might be a bit too tough for mink. I don't know. You know.
Yeah.
I think it's time
We got
to get the beast out.
Oh, what the beast!
Right, come on, Spalt.
Well, they're not. These aren't that big. These are medium ones.
medium.
Yeah, the crayfish are a decent size. What do you want first, crab or the crayfish?
You decide, mate. Keep talking to that mic.
Oh yeah.
Look at
This is a mitten crab. This is a medium-sized mitten crab. If you look at him, they call them mitten crabs because they've got furry claws. It's just like feeling moleskin. It's lovely, as long as you don't put your bloody fingers too near them because they'll break a pen in half. And they run like a greyhound.
Really? They're really quick.
Yeah, I live on my back garden now. Backs onto some allotments, and there's always 2 or 3 on the
So do
allotments.
they filter the water in any way, Spalt?
Yeah, they filter it, mate. Yeah,
Yeah.
they are. If there's a dead fish in the net, they will eat it.
Right.
Right, but nothing like a crayfish. A crayfish will eat the skeleton and everything.
Really?
Yeah, they're nightmare. But these, I think these are more of a filter feeder than they are.
Maybe another reason why the drains are so clear, would it be?
Yeah, well that and weed.
Fine.
Yeah, that and weed, mate.
Wow. It just looks like it's got silk around it.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, but when that's in water, it puffs up like boxing gloves.
Right.
But that's him. But the crayfish in the 20-foot this year are monsters. Look,
Look at that.
absolute monsters.
Huh.
No wonder there ain't no fish left. There seems to be a gap in the fish. Look at him, look. He's waving at you. Give me your finger. That's what he's saying.
Wow.
But,
So you can eat both of these, yeah?
well, would you want to eat them that's come out the bottom of a drain?
Well, no.
Chinese are obsessed with them.
Really love them, do they?
One of those crabs in a restaurant is 25 quid
Really?
by itself. They steam them individually. And they're going mad for them.
Does it say on the Chinese restaurant? Like
Caught by Spalt.
Finland,
No.
caught by the Eel Man? or like-
No. I sell to a Greek middleman. He's a nice bloke, but he looks like a bloody terrorist. But he's all right.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. So what's your biggest bag of, in sort of the biggest sort of,
Catch what a crab
Yeah.
in one day, 90 kilos.
90 kilos?
90 kilos.
Wow.
And that's not a one-off.
No.
That's,
Is that always a certain time of year when they're
yeah,
running? Or?
from September to about now. They have eased off this week.
Yeah.
Right, but up till then, that was only 30 kilos last week. I say only, but that's a lot of crabs.
That is a lot of crabs, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you think what they weigh, what? A couple of ounce?
I think you get about 8 or 9 to the kilo.
Right. It's a lot of crabs, isn't it?
Yeah. And they're just, I mean, I get shut down now 16 weeks a year, so I have to earn a year's wages in 8 months.
Do you find they change colour at different venues that they come out?
No, mate, no.
They're always dark like that, and then,
I mean, that's a signal crayfish.
yeah.
There's another one turned up now, the Turkish crayfish,
Yeah,
which
I think Kai was explaining to us
Yeah.
about this, yeah.
which isn't quite as nasty as that.
Right,
But where the signals aren't,
yeah.
the Turkish are
Right.
in the drainage system. You know. But in fact, the chap I sell to at London doesn't get any that big from anybody else.
Really?
Yeah, I do sell the biggest ones he buys.
Yeah, it must be to do with all the nutrients and stuff like that.
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
drains, mustn't it?
I mean, years ago, the 16 foot's a classic. That's now like tap water full of weed.
Yeah.
That used to be coloured and lovely. Even the 40 foot. He'll have you, yeah. He's not a very happy bunny, is he?
No. Amazing things, aren't they?
But the trouble is they eat straight through your nets.
Do they?
And you spend all winter just sat making new nets and repairing all the old ones.
It's like fishing in general, wouldn't it? Sat at home, prepared.
Yeah.
No different, is it?
I mean, I have to work 7 days a week right way through the year up till now, and then the 16 weeks I repair all my gear, make a load of new nets, ready for the start again.
Non-stop, mate. Non-stop.
Yeah.
So, Andy.
Well, I was just going to say, Spalt, they're the signal crayfish. They were on the Ouse originally, weren't they? Right upstream. Is that right?
Yeah. This year they're not upstream on the Ouse. They're in them.
How on earth have they got into the 20 foot?
I don't know. Mate. Well, railway lakes at Whittlesea used to be full of them. Well, still is.
Yeah.
And there's obviously an outlet from railway lakes, just a pipe into the Bevil's Leam, if you like. And over the years, but they're not down that section. They're in Cock Bank, but they're not from Whittlesea to Angle Corner. There's hardly any. But Cock Bank's full of them. And so's, I think that's why Cockbank's gone downhill. Because A, the weed, and B, them. When I go down Cockbank, I don't expect to catch an eel, I expect to catch them.
Isn't it amazing how the ecosystem's changed?
It has. I've seen over the,
This is why I wanted to Spalt on, because
Yeah,
like
in
I say,
40
he knows the drains better than anyone.
Yeah.
He knows what's going on underneath
It's-
the water, doesn't he?
I knew about the mitten crabs, and I knew they were burrowing into like the Delft and the old Bedford badly. 'Cause
Yeah.
I met you years ago down on the Bedford, didn't I?
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
were the Environment Agency had got you to net a lot of the mitten crab down.
Yeah.
And they couldn't use the nets properly, and you were telling me.
Yeah,
how,
yeah. Well, they wanted some nets to catch mitten crabs. I said, yeah, I've got some. And they said, that's a bit of a result for me, really. I think it was Kai Wrangle when he was younger, a bit shorter than what he is now.
What, he was about 10?
Well, he
What if he
wasn't
was
10. He probably looked 10, but he wasn't 10. Right. Spalt, can we have some nets? Yes,
He's
mate.
going to hate us for this.
Yeah, I know he is. Yeah, but he won't mind. He'll think it's amusing. Yes, mate. Come and pick the nets up. Anyway, about an hour and a half later, I get a phone call. Spalt, we can't borrow these nets. Why can't you? In case we lose them. I said, well, if you lose them, mate, it's not the end of the world. You know, they're not any special. No, my boss said we've got to rent them off you. Right. How much you want to pay? Well, is £6 a net a week all right? Yeah. So that was 10 nets. Six. Well, what else do we lose them? Don't worry. They had them 6 months, lost every net, caught one crab. Right. So, and I caught a few. I mean, last year they wanted some for their.
How did they lose the
I
nets?
don't know, mate. I don't know. Yeah.
They need your GPS.
Yeah. Yeah. They didn't have my GPS. No, that's right. Yeah.
Isn't
But that was before they really become thick. They were just starting to come then, I think.
It's
But-
amazing how the ecosystem has changed, because the level's full of mitten crabs, isn't it?
Yeah,
In
yeah.
certain
The
places.
whole, I mean, I'm the only one that's allowed to fish the middle level system. There's 122 mile of it, and I'm the only one allowed on it now. And I've done a whole lot, and I learn a lot. Well, like I get a lot of Tommy Ruff in me nets, you know. There's tons and tons. There's tons of baby perch, a lot of baby perch, and but then the other places you go, it's barren. It's weird. But then all of a sudden you start catching these. I mean, I was catching sackfuls of crayfish out of 20-foot sackfuls. Yet you never seem to catch one on rod and line.
No, it's strange. And I'm amazed the size of that one they got in your bucket. And I'm amazed they're in the 20-foot.
Yeah, 20.
And they're just in pods, basically.
Yeah, you one net will have 30, 40, 50 in. Next one won't have anything in. Next one 20. Another 30 or 40.
Can you not bait the nets up then, or are they just...
You can do, mate, but these eel nets are awesome.
Are they?
You're not meant to use eel nets for crayfish. You have to use a crayfish pot.
Right.
But an eel net will outfish a crayfish pot 1,000,000 times. So I'm allowed in there to eel fish, so I just put eel nets in and can catch the crayfish in them. I've tried it with pots alongside them, and they just don't, nowhere near. Other places the pots will fish better, but in the actual drains, they're the game.
Mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does that show you that the crayfish are actually on the move all the time?
Yeah, because they get into that leader and just trundle down it. I mean the crabs are like, it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But they won't license you to catch them.
It's crazy because they're an invasive species, and you think.
Yeah.
Just
All the scientists in Holland, the government pay the eel fishermen £25 a kilo to catch them, to get rid of them. Over here, they won't do it.
Madness, isn't it?
Yeah. And eventually what will happen is, I mean, I'm 64 in 6 weeks, I think. I might have 6 or 7 years left, perhaps, if I'm lucky, mine to. I mean, it's a job to pull the boat up, and I've got winches now where I never even thought I'd have a winch. I've got 2 or 3 winches to pull things up. But when I'm gone, my opposition's the same age, and there's 2 of us in the whole country fish full time. There's a few part-timers, but they don't fish nothing like we fish 7 days a week, constant. And when we go, there'll be nobody to catch them.
Well, that's right, because obviously I spoke about Jack earlier.
Yeah.
Obviously, Harvey's taken over the family reins, but it doesn't pay enough, so he does other things as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
And you guys know exactly what's going on with the environment.
yeah.
And these scientists do not have a Scooby.
No, mate.
No,
No.
because it's changing all the time, and you have to be out there all the time to
Yeah.
stick with what's happening and know
Yeah.
what's going on. And not wishing ill health on anybody, but when you guys are not here,
Yeah.
no
And-
one will have a clue of what's happening with our environment.
And they're not issuing any more eel licences, so nobody else can come in. I can't even expand. I'd like to expand, but I can't. So once I retire and my licence,
You can imagine that, can't you, at school, Andy, when they're looking for work,
Yeah.
work placements to
Yeah.
do work experience or whatever. John Spalton, Eel Man, I wonder how many of them would.
Can you imagine the risk assessments?
yeah, yeah,
Polecat.
yeah, polecat bites, yeah,
Yeah.
health and safety. What's that?
12 dogs,
Yeah,
You get bitten by a polecat.
green.
I got this Newfoundland. My mate said, "Is it sit in the boat?" I said, "Anywhere it bloody likes." Yeah, bloody great thing this. He loves crayfish. He's had one today. Just sat. They pull the claws off first, and then eat the body.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
No, on a serious note though, you guys know so much about the environment, and it's absolutely incredible, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I mean, they did listen to me about the overpasses,
Yeah.
which was good. But we're in a computerised world now.
Yeah.
When I've actually just gone on the internet. I'm not only because the grandkids, when they come to stay, that they want to use their iPads, and I don't even know how to switch a computer on. I haven't a clue. But I could take you in the middle of that drainage system, put you on some fish of some description. You know, and the trouble is, they sit in their offices. They're all intelligent people. They've all got a degree in something, but they haven't got fieldcraft.
Well, that's right. I remember. I mean, there's a few. I need to phone him up. I've not spoken to him for 2 or 3 years, but it's like talking to Spalt, Alex. When he's phoned Jack, it's not a 10-minute conversation. It's brilliant. It's like not being rude. It's proper. Yeah. And he was telling me that the scientists have got it so wrong about the eels. It's ridiculous. He said to me, "You guys have a 9-year cycle on your waters, your fish.
Yeah,
You'll fish it out.
Yeah,
You'll put elvers back in.
Yeah.
And you'll go back to that drain 9 years later."
yeah. I mean, some place I've got.
Is that right?
Yeah, I've got 155,000 acres of permission.
Yeah. And what you do is cycle it. So you'd actually you're kind of taking out the eels, restocking, and then going back. So you keep rotating around on all different. Yeah. And he was saying that like you said earlier, the amount of eels in the estuaries is unbelievable.
It's full.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
But they can't run back up the rivers and the drains because the pumps are in the way.
Yeah, they have to put eel-friendly pumps in there.
Yeah.
But I still don't think they can get in
No,
there.
and he was saying that when they run out, they get caught in the turbines,
Yeah.
get smashed up.
Get smashed up anyway.
Yeah.
Even the the eel-friendly or fish-friendly, if you like, are a worm wheel. But by the time you've gone through a worm wheel pump and you come out the other end, you're not fit for it. When you sort yourself out, I've got to go to the Sargasso Sea from here, you wouldn't know which way you're going, would you?
No, and he was saying that all the surveys are done on these rivers and drains.
Yeah.
And of course, there's no eels in there because they've been smashed up by the pumps or they've been predated upon.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's a kind of the perfect spin for eel conservation because there are no eels in these rivers and drains, but there are so many in the salt waters, but they just can't get up.
Yeah.
They're old waters.
So it's good for protection of them, really, but it's hard to fish the tidal. I do fish the tidal, but it is hard. I mean, last year was awesome in the tidal. Because we had no rain, it was nearly neat salt, and they all came up. And there was, I mean, the tidal is full of fish, full of bream, carp, everything you can think of, hybrids, but it's just too hard to fish. You know, so you could probably just fish it rod and line, just. But it's full of everything. It's coloured, there's no weed. You jump over the lock, weed, and it smells, when you lift your nets up, it smells chemically. What's come out the fields and gone into the drainage system. It's gone clear, the sun's come down on the water, and the weed is just, lilies are just growing like mad. You know, it's, I'm 20 years, 30 years too late. I ought to be 80 now instead of 60. Because the years ago, when they used to catch 10, 11, 12 pound of eels mid-water. Neil Parkinson used to fish the North Bank, like fishing shallow for them.
I remember Ernie James used to kick me off the Delph.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to sit in the trees there and catch these little rudd. When I was about My old man used to drop me off at 14. You like this, Alex? I'm on match fishing gear. He'd go, which side you going? I'll go, I'm going to the trees.
Okay.
He'd go, he'll find you. I said, I might get an hour.
yeah.
So I go sit in the trees,
for that.
catching his little rudd, which at the time I thought were huge. And he'd find me, kick me off. But he's another old school, isn't he? Did you get to know him very well?
I've got 2 of his nets, 2 which I can't remember who I got them off now, but he said they're Ernie James's nets. One was willow to start with. I altered it now. I've changed it. There were willow hoops. I put stainless steel ones on there. But all the old eel fishermen were earned a fortune, absolute fortune. When the average wage was £100, they were earning 1,000. And my opposition, he's been doing it longer than I have, and he did all the lakes at Columba Park up there. He only had a handful of nets then, and he was getting like 6 ton a week out of it. This is when they were only £1 a pound. They all paid cash for the houses, and it was just like better than robbing a bank. Of course, when I come into it, it just went downhill rapid.
Well, I'm going to say another name to you, a bit more modern, but still quite old. John Baxter.
Yeah, John Baxter.
Yeah,
He hasn't done any this year. He had all his nets confiscated last year.
Long time ago, we used to acquire a few of him and Spalt.
Yeah. When he used to have a stone net on the river.
Yeah, on the tidal-oos.
Yeah.
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 That was a long
You
time
can't
ago.
do that anymore now. That's what I mean. There's just too many rules now.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
The rules I can't tie. I can tie. Last year I couldn't tie 2 nets together. This year I can tie 2 nets together. Right? They've got to be 30 yards apart. You got to be 30 yards from a structure. You can't put it alongside a structure. So you've got to be 30 yards away. But who on earth? I mean, they have got this sonic-y, gizmo-y thing now that can see where the nets are. That's how they got John Baxter's nets. They cambered them and got them. And but saying that, you don't. The fishermen that think they're fishermen tie strings and strings together, and it don't work. It's if I have one net on the corner of a river, say, my next net won't be for half a mile, 3/4 of a mile, until I find out where they are. But if I tied 8 nets together, they'd only catch as much as 2 tied together, and that's the knack. Loads of people before, when you could buy a licence, have come into it and probably had one good week, and all of a sudden have not caught anything, and I've ended up buying them all out, you know, and it's just down to clue basically.
No, it's just hard-earned stuff. I mean, Dennis Moles, you know Dennis Moles?
Yeah, I know Dennis.
Dennis,
Yeah.
digger, brilliant. He's got a theory about silt beds and the eels lying in the silt beds over the winter, and he reckons this is a good point.
Yeah, they're like willow trees.
Do they?
Yeah.
Hold on, I've got to turn the mic off. This is a secret stuff.
Yeah. If there's a row of willow trees alongside the river, they suck on the roots, which are sweet.
Are you winding me up?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Can I look at me when you're saying
Yeah,
this?
yeah, that's true. And not everywhere, but some places, it must be a mixture of silt as well. They do like silt. You can do wherever the 20 foot. I keep going back to 20 foot, but it's a good river, and some places are silty, others are rock hard. And where it's rock hard, the bottom, no eels. But where it's rock hard, the crayfish are.
Well, you're right. I've been on there my side imaging, and it's a weird place because you get like loads of weed.
Yeah, then
and
no
suddenly
weed.
you get no weed.
Yeah, it's a funny weed. It's like a crusty.
Yeah.
Looks like a plantation,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yes.
It's horrible stuff.
Well, you get it in like kelp
Hooks
type.
don't like it either, do they?
Do what, mate?
Oh, the hooks.
No.
At Chain Ridge and that, there's a few pegs there just known for snag pegs. And
Yeah, it's
you
weed.
think there's something in there, and it's just the like weed that you
Yeah, it's
can't
weed.
get rid
It's
of.
horrible stuff.
But you go further up out the way where you won't fish because you've got to walk a long way. It suddenly goes, poof, no weed.
No, it's lovely.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's like rock hard,
Mm.
and then you go, and there's no fish there.
No fish there.
No
No.
fish there.
But-
And then suddenly you hit this brick wall. Well, not, it's a weed wall, and suddenly there's
Yeah.
weed.
Yeah.
And then you go it further, and then you get poof, nothing.
Mm.
Then the weed builds up, and you get shallower and shallower. But it's bizarre,
Mm.
and it's weed. Nothing. I can't work it out, and I haven't fished it as much as I should have done. But I don't know with these signal crayfish. You know, Do you think the predators are going to munch on those?
Oh yes, mate. Yeah, the otters love them. There's
I
a lot
wasn't
of
thinking about those. I was thinking about things with teeth that swim.
swim. Yeah. Well, a lot of people now drop shot in little crayfish lures, aren't they?
Yeah.
And catching decent perch and
Yeah.
what have you.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they're crawfish.
Yeah. So that seems to be a good little, little crayfish lure drop shot, and they're catching good perch on it.
Because on the ewes, the chub weight went up massively, didn't it?
Yeah, stuffing themselves with
Yeah.
that. But the crayfish up there have gone now. The cut-off was full of them. That's gone.
Was it really?
Yeah, full the cut-off was. And I mean full.
Why doesn't it just disappear?
There's a plague
You've
they
emptied
get,
them.
but you never see a dead... Well, I've had a few. I had a few. But there's a plague they get. But you'd think you'd see some dead ones, but you never see dead ones, hardly. You do in lakes, because they all float to the top, and they come to the top. But in the drains and what have you, they just vanish, literally vanish. It's a bit weird. Then a few years later, they'll come back.
The fens are a strange place, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, especially at night.
Have you seen this black cat?
Oh, the black cat. Now then, you probably think I'm crackers.
So you mean the black shook?
No, the black...
The black cat.
the black cat.
I've never heard of the black cat.
Puma.
Puma.
That's the... Oh, right, okay.
Right.
Spalt, sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah. I was on the Dell for about, 6, 7, 8 years ago, and it was down. And I saw these footprints all the way along the Delf on the mud bank. And I looked at them and I thought, they're not a dog and they're not a deer. And I said to the shepherd, I said, I've seen these footprints down the Delf. Have you? I said, yeah. He said, you know what that is, don't you? I said, no. He said, but you're not allowed to say that you've seen them footprints. I said, what is it then? He says, that puma. I said, no, it's not. He said, it is. Anyway, that night, I was parked up at Welsh's Dam, having a cup of coffee sort of drink sort of thing, about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
Coke and a Mars bar.
Yeah, they're probably there. Yeah.
Spalt's
Yeah. And
consumption for the day.
this bloody thing come across the field, right in front of my van, up over the bank and down and went. And I said to the shepherd the next day, I said, I've seen that bloody cat. I said, well, I can't say anything, nobody believed me. He said, well, last night a sheep was killed and the pony was killed.
Really?
Right, and I had to look, but I half disbelieved myself, but it was the cat. And the footprints on the Dell was definitely the cat, where he just walked along, obviously looking for food.
Well, I'm going to tell you a story here. Was it black or was it sandy colour?
Black, the one I saw.
Right, I had a chocolate Labrador. He was the best dog ever. And I Welney, I was walking along between the Delph and the Old Bedford at Welney, and he went charging. We used to carry a scaffolding plank down on the Delph to get across that. Get across that little time. The farmer found it every time. I don't know how he found it, but he used to. Anyway, I'm walking the dog down there, and he bolted. He doesn't normally. He used to walk next to me. He bolted straight into the long reeds. So you're going at Welney, but you're going upstream towards Pisces and beyond the railway track. So I got the Old Bedford behind me, and I'm walking on the flood bank, but Delph side, and he shot into the reeds. And this thing has leapt, you know, like a lamb would leap sideways.
Yeah. Your dog spooked it.
Yeah, but it wasn't a lamb. It was bigger than the dog. But
Yeah.
it was a sandy colour. It had big pointy ears.
Yeah.
That was a wild cat. Well, it wasn't a feral cat. It was
No, a proper cat.
proper like a lynx or something. I don't know what it was.
But this was definitely a puma.
yeah,
Definitely.
there's all sorts of being released by.
Yeah, they should let it go.
Yeah, my mate is a chief inspector for the RSPCA, and these people acquire these exotic pets
Let them go.
and then let them go in the wild.
Yeah.
I know. So I saw this thing leaping through the reeds, and I'm thinking, that's bigger than Bunsey.
Yeah.
That is huge.
Tell you what else is coming into the drains there. Carp. There's
Carp.
tons of carp. Baby ones as well.
Baby ones.
I had 2 last week, about 6, 7 ounces a piece in 1 minute. Got a little mirror and a little common.
Well, the Delph used to be really good for wild carp.
Yeah. I haven't seen them the last couple of years.
Washed out, dead.
Probably. Years ago, you could see them all the time.
They used to get, when they flood the fields,
Yeah.
they got side drains
Yeah.
into the fields and spawn in May.
Yeah.
But they also had a real problem with
Lack of oxygen.
but it gets really toxic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw a seal in there on Saturday or
Yeah.
Sunday.
It don't affect them crabs.
No.
Them crabs love it.
16 foot, seen 2 or 3 really big carp a long time ago, just literally just cruising down. But I don't think the 16 foot's got enough in them to seriously consider fishing for it.
So what's the weirdest thing you've caught in one of your nets then, Spalt?
I've had a cormorant.
Yeah.
I've had a fox.
Fox.
A fox. I had a little net in the dike, and he's poked his. He was dead. Poked his head in the front trap before Otter Guards was about.
I was hoping you were going to say mermaid.
No.
Fenland mermaid.
No much look. No. Would you put a mermaid back? I don't think so. No. But no, a fox, cormorant. I've had a cormorant. Mink by the ton.
Yeah.
Odd otter that's got in, that shouldn't have got in. And nothing else strange. Somebody's ashes. I've had somebody's ashes. Yeah. That's in the tidal. Ern, I called him.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
That's the worst one to know.
Yeah.
That really
I
is.
bet that ain't in the Eel Man.
No, I forgot about that one, yeah.
I've just realised I've left the lid off the bucket of these things next to me. I could have lost a leg.
Yeah, you could have done, yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Spalt, for
Yeah, is that it, mate? Yeah.
sharing all the stories. And
Hope
I
it
don't know, I'm looking at
Then
time.
we'll,
I don't know, I think we've got 2 hours of spot. I think we're going to have to do two parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Two
what, yeah, because I think...
Oh, we've been 2 hours, have we?
Oh, yeah. It's been
we haven't
brilliant.
done match results yet.
No.
What time is it then?
Oh, my missus has left me. She's packed her bags and gone. She's that fed up.
Mad, isn't it, when you get talking?
Oh, Spalt was brilliant.
No,
We could
thank
keep
you.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Shall we do the match results then?
Do we have to? I'm enjoying listening to Spalt more,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's 100 more stories. I'll tell you what, do the match results.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's going to remember something he's got to tell us in a minute.
Yeah, we'll all come in, won't it?
Before the match, who was the guy that had Emleth tackle shot with Mick Asker?
George Smith.
Right. I knew there was 2 of them.
He now does miserable as sin, George was. He was a good fisherman. He used to fish for ABC, I think. Used to fish with Dickie Carr and all them, but miserable as sin. He now does hot rods up, and he is, to give him his due, he's bloody good. He's got a 1934 Ford Coupe now, which is awesome. Before that, he had a Ford Pop. I mean, I'd love to be, if I won any money, that's what I'd buy. I'd buy it.
I can remember going here, there and everywhere. What was that? That music used to play with the guitars?
Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd. He introduced me to Pink Floyd. So me and whoever was travelling with him was listening to that all the way
I
there.
took Curly all the way to Gloucester Canal in a Mark, I had a Mark, was it Mark 3 Capri? 2.8 injection anyway.
John Deere Green?
No, that was metallic blue. No MOT and tax. I drove all the way down there with no MOT and tax on it. And all I played him was Pink Floyd. Because I liked it so well, I was humming away and I did his head in. It was about 5 hours to the Gloucester Canal, isn't it?
Would be you driving, 40 mile an hour.
Yeah, even with a 2.8 injection Capri. yeah, I like Pink Floyd.
Good old Curly.
Yeah, he don't fish much now, does he? No.
No, I hadn't seen Curly for a little while. Last time I seen him, we went out on New Year's in Nottingham and he was
Yeah.
having a night out. But
I've got to ask you one more question, Spalt. Because I used to fish with Blacksmith's Arms when I was a little boy.
Yeah.
Reg and Ray Sutterby.
The name rings a
Do
bell.
you remember them?
I think I don't know how old. Are they still alive?
I don't know. Brian Rudland, who was
No.
called Darky.
Don't know him.
You
No.
must know Darky.
No. Probably do with some. I know lots of people, but I can't remember the name.
Darky still goes round and sees Dad, and he must be the same age as Dad, sort of 78, 80.
Yeah.
But, these are the old boys who taught me how to fish. They're,
Yeah,
proper Fenland fishermen.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we-
all my school days, well, not my school days, because I lived with my nan and granddad for a long while, and I used to fish the Bargate Drain a lot.
or Bargut Drain, as they say.
Yeah, and that's where my fishing was mainly there. I used to bike there. My dad moved, he got promoted. We used to live at Wainfleet, which is near Skeg. Wainfleet, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, where are you from? Wainfleet, mate.
Ah.
Yeah. And I had this river steeping, which was full of roach, and gudgeon then, loads of gudgeon. But my granddad taught me to fish on the Bargate Drain. And Jack Clayton's shop was on the go then, if you remember Jack Clayton.
No.
Well, he was...
The name rings a bell.
Yeah, he was like... He invented the swing tip.
Which I'm going to thrash Alex with.
No chance, mate.
Yeah.
I'm going to use the swing tip.
Yeah.
Because I love using the swing tip.
In fact...
He mentions this every week.
You know...
what they say, they're just building up for a big fall.
I actually...
well, to do it properly, if he's still got them...
I've still got them.
They were 10 quid each. Kevin or Keith, I can't remember the name, that sells the boats near the boatyard on the river. He's got 2 Jack Clayton swing tip rods for 10 quid each. They'll be worth the weight in gold in a few years' time.
I was cleaning my old stuff out the other day and I said to Nina, I said, look at these swing tips. And her and her mum used to pack floats and actually put the screws, the eyes, into the rubber. Yeah. And I'm thinking, isn't it bizarre what people used to do?
Yeah.
And I'm going to absolutely thrash him on the tip when he's got this pole thing in his hand.
But he used to have the most untidiest tackle shop that was going.
Untidiest?
Untidy. But when you went in, it was the keep nets used to smell lovely, and you smelled ground bait. It was all brown crumb.
Did you ever go in Cochrane's in Wisbech?
No.
With the guns as well?
No.
Oh, that was it was just, there was stuff. It was like a bric-a-brac shop, but it was brilliant. Yeah, so as a kid, it used to stink of maggots that weren't riddled properly and smelling. You go, oh, what is that? And it wasn't the best tackle shop. You used to go to Brian Lakey's and then also
for bits and bobs.
Mark Lynn set up competition, so we had that. So it was quite funny. There's a whole history behind all this, isn't there?
It's brilliant. It goes on years, especially the older you are, anyway.
Well, yeah. I mean, I suppose we've been quite lucky to dip into both sides, really. Yeah, but it's just fantastic. I saw Chris Lynn. I said to him about his dad setting up the tackle shop, and I'm convinced Mark set it up because he was convinced Brian Lakey
was going to retire.
Well, wasn't selling him and his mates the best maggots.
Oh, right.
I can't remember. I've probably got it totally wrong, but I'm sure that's why Mark set it up. Yeah. And if he didn't, I'm still remembering that story because it sounds better to me. But that's why they did it. Alex, I do apologise. You want to do the match results, don't you?
So then, Andy, it was the final round of the East Midlands Winter League this Sunday, and as you're aware, it was really close going into this round. 2 teams out of the 7 qualify for the final, which is on the drains and decoy. So for this league, it's you've got a good chance in the final. Whoever qualifies, bit of local knowledge. So the venues for this week were A and B section were on the 20-foot at Chain Bridge. For those that know the 20-foot, it's the bridge near the prison. So it's about probably half a mile from the prison, would you say? Yeah, the main road bridge.
I think so. Yeah, half a mile.
Yeah, so we put 3 pegs to the right and 11 pegs to the left between that and the old railway bridge. And the week before, it fished pretty consistent all the way through. So it was 2 pretty evenly matched sections. There is a bit of a boss peg, the peg to the right of the bridge, above Chain Bridge, which won the match last week. And it won the match again this week. Martin Caldecott from the Stanjay Gold team, he had £30.14, which is nice steady weight, especially in the conditions Sunday. It was really rough. So well done to Martin. Excuse me. And then C and D sections were March allotments. The first peg in C section is known as the windmill, which obviously there's a little windmill in the garden near the willow trees there, and the end peg in D section was just before the end of the turning bay going towards the bypass. So that fished brilliant again. With the rain we had late last week, made the river flow one direction all day. I think James Dracklick was second in the match. He had £28, caught a few on the Emp, a few on Groundbet and Pinky. And then Mike Kirby was second in that section, but third in the match from the M peg on the windmill with 27.12, I think he had. So considering that's had a match on it the last 4 weeks straight, the weights have been fantastic through there. You needed, in that first section, I think like fourth was £21. So, it's fantastic fishing, really. Then Mark Pollard sneaked in the frame. No, he didn't. No, sorry, I do apologise. Simon Godfrey was last one in the frame. He had £24, just under £25 from the 20 foot, and he was probably 9 pegs away from the bridge. So he's done well there, really. Mark Pollard was the best weight on Factory Bank. He gave me a lesson off the next peg. So well done, Mark. I think he had £23.6. So he had a very good weight there. Caught down the middle for the first hour and went straight across and just caught a fish a chuck for the rest of the match. Had a bit of pace on it, a bit of colour. The conditions were absolutely perfect for all the drains really at the weekend, so it meant it was a real good competitive match. So yeah, moving on to the team. So that was the main important thing. Before the draw, we just felt we needed a draw that could give us a chance of doing all right, and Ray Malley was in charge of that, and he's done us proud, really. We've had some good pegs and some mediocre pegs, and it's probably the best draw we've had all series, to be honest. So it gave us a bit of confidence before the match started. And, well, anyway, obviously, as soon as the match started, everyone was ringing, how you got on? Oh, I'm not too sure, not too good, I don't know. You don't know, do you, until the scales turn up. And on the way back, I've rung everyone on my way from Factory back to Bennett for the draw, and I've worked out we just needed one more person. And I think we needed Sam Mary's score to come, and we had, I think it was 25 points with one to come. And I was thinking, oh, please be a section win, or will it be enough? Because just below 30 points has got you in the top three every round so far. When we got back, Ray was there with his sheet. How you get on? What points you got? And all the team captains were the same. And it was pretty obvious that all the teams had pretty much got the same similar score. And I said to Danny Grimsey, I sort of shook his hand and said, well done, mate, for winning the Stacey Cup. And I said, it's going to be real tight. I said, I think it's going to go 29-30, 31 today. And he said, nah, it can't be that tight. I said, I think it will be. I think it'll be that close. Anyway, sort of capped, how many you got? Anyway, after about half hour, we worked out that we'd got 29 points. Which was second on the day. Stan J Gold had a mega score. I think they had 5 section winners, so they've come good at the end. Obviously, I think they were second or third in the Winter League final last year, so and they haven't qualified this year. That just shows how strong the league is, and so well done to them. We sneaked it with 29 points. Third was Hot Rods on 30, and fourth was Matrix Image on 31. So that meant that we... Hold
on a minute. So first place had 25, second place had 29,
yeah.
Third had 30, fourth had 31.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So that meant that we had qualified, obviously, because we'd beat both teams, so we sneaked in, but we also meant we won the league as well. So we ended up with 15 match points, and Hot Rods and Image both had 16 match points. So what happens then, it goes on a cumulative point through the whole 6 rounds. And I think it went down to Matrix Image had 185 and Hot Rods had 191. So over 6 rounds, 10 anglers in each round, it all come down to that fine margin. It just goes to show. And, it's so tight. And you feel gutted for the lads that miss out. And like we said last week, it's such a shame that someone has to miss out, because the amount of effort and time you put in, week out, practicing, time off work, hours at night, tying hook lengths and rigs, and you just, the buzz from team fishing is brilliant until you've fished in a team and you don't realise how much fun it is. So unlucky to Hot Rods really, and it is a shame that someone has to miss out. But Image got through. I think it's the second time they got through since they've been in our league. So they're going to be a hard team to beat as well in the final. And obviously we got through. So, I was a bit devo really going in. Well, March we come fourth, and we was winning the league every round up until March, and we felt that we needed a good win or a good score, and we'd be half 1 foot in the final. And we didn't have a very good draw, but that's fishing, and the wheels just felt like they'd fallen off a little bit, and we sort of kept the faith, as we say, and we fished really well on Sunday and got in. So yeah, chuffed to bits, really. Chuffed to bits.
That's amazing, really. I mean, when you start, I was just working out the maths of how many anglers and how many matches you had, and
Yeah.
the difference between those two teams coming in second and third is probably goes down to just a few missed bites from a few of the anglers.
It's so close. I mean, even like when you drop fish off and things like that, or you think how many, you look through the series and you go, yeah, I should have had a point there, or could have had two there, or deep down you think, I could have, and that's what it boils down to, and that's why your preparation has to be on point. Everything has to be, and the draw makes a big difference in our league because they're at such a high standard. A little gimme peg can mean the world, really. I mean, the lads have done well, really. It's first year as the tackle and baits team, and we've got lads from, I mean, Winters travels from Nottingham every week, Mansfield, Sam from Leicester, and then obviously the main lads from Huntingdon, Ramsey, Kings Lynn, Ray's from Kings Lynn. So we are a local, and we're pretty close, tight team. So yeah, it's good. Yeah,
it's
brilliant.
Fantastic. Yeah. So it's all guns blazing now for the final, which is when?
The final is the 22nd of February, Saturday the 22nd. 5 anglers fish the drains, which normally they have 2 sections at March, or 3, depending on the weather. 1 section which is either Factory Bank or the 20 foot, and then 1 section on Benwick. So the problem we've got now is we've got 10 anglers for 5 spaces that fish the drains all winter and all very capable of doing it, so that's going to be a headache. And then obviously the fact that decoy for the other 5, I mean, we've got a lot of anglers in the team and the squad that know decoy really, really well, but in the winter it's a completely different ball game.
So you have 5 anglers from your team on the drains, and the other 5 are going to be at decoy.
Yeah.
On they just use how many lakes do they?
There's
use?
11 lakes there.
11
Yeah.
lakes.
So
do they use all of them?
Yeah. So normally one lake is like a half section, so they're either 14 or 15 pegs on each lake.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and it all depends on the weather. If it's a mild winter, the fishing will be really, really good. There'll be a lot of maggot fishing, and there'll be some bites to be had. But if it goes really, really cold, it's all about getting the right pegs on the right lakes, and so you can't beat that.
Being team manager, you've got some difficult decisions to make about team selection, and then you've got to get the 5 commercial guys sorted for there, and your 5 anglers on the drain. So you're either going to get lots of Christmas presents or none at all.
Yeah. Yeah. But what we'll say, going back to the Winter League, the Winter League has a trophy called the Stacey Cup, which is like the individual. And this year, Danny Grimsey won it. He bossed it. He had 8 points. So I think he's had 4 section wins and 2 seconds. So he's absolutely paralysed it. So well done to Danny. I managed to get second. I had 10 points. So I've drawn some dolly holes this year and been grateful for those. And then third was Colin Oakman with 11 points. So it's tough, 7 peg sections, some fantastic angles in the league, and so well done, Danny.
That is good. Yeah, so it's a bit. That's how they score out in athletics events, I think, in team events. It's like you get 1 point for first place in your section, 2 points for second place. Yeah. So he's got four points, one for each section win, which is incredible. Yeah. And then 4 more points for the
second in section.
Yeah, 2 times 2 second in section. That's the three
consistent,
of three of you, really.
Yeah,
that's very consistent. Yeah, it just shows you the caliber of anglers. So that adds to the team competition as well, though, doesn't it? Having that individual.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I mean, the league's run brilliantly by I think Bob Bates is the chairman of the league. He sorts out the scales and all stuff like that, and then Mike Kirby does all the draw system, which is a new draw system we've had. It's too complicated to talk about how it all works now, but it kept everything tight this year anyway, put it that way. No one ran away with it this year. Mike does a brilliant job. Caroline does the money, and Fizz helps out with the results. So between them, they all do a great job. It's a lot of effort and time running matches, and a lot of people that have not run a match don't realise all the aggro you get with it. So yeah, they've done a great job there, really.
Yeah, I think it's really important to actually, sort of, like I was saying at the beginning, with these other agencies that help out with all sorts of things. Yeah. With these matches you guys have had, without these guys you just mentioned organising it all, nothing would happen.
No.
And God, a thankless task, really, because
Yeah.
people don't remember all the hard work and effort people put in.
No.
They just want to nitpick the smallest
Yeah.
thing when it doesn't quite
Yeah.
run to plan.
Yeah.
But that's great that you've done that. And also, I think all the teams. So there were 7 teams of 10.
Yeah.
So that's 70 anglers,
hmm
each over 6 weeks,
Well,
6 matches.
it's 12 matches because we have a practice match and then a
Wow.
round. So it's I don't know if it's the only league that has 12 matches on the bounce like that now or not, but it's a lie actually, because we have 2 back-to-back at Bennett, because this weekends are normally it'd be the final round this weekend, but so 11 weekends on the trot.
Have they organised every single match, these guys you mentioned?
So what we do is for the practice match, a team organises the practice match and does the pegging, and then the 4 guys that I mentioned, they obviously do the results and stuff like that. So yeah, it's I mean we had the pleasure of running the last round on the drains. And I think Image get the March one, and Bob Fitzjohn helps him do that. So yeah, everyone chips in and does their bit.
That's great, isn't it? That's a like, big community-based project as well. It's getting all the anglers together. It's great.
Yeah.
And if everyone bought all their magnets through tackle and baits, God dear, you could retire.
I don't think there's that much money in maggots, mate. No. Yeah.
To make a penny a pint?
Yeah, half a penny, I reckon.
Penny a pint.
Yeah.
A bit like milk sales.
And all the aggro you get with them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But
too big, too small.
Oh,
too
they're too big
too
this
thin.
week, then they're too small, and then they're not fresh, and his bait's bigger than mine, and yeah, you know the score. Yeah.
That's brilliant. Right. Do you have any other match results?
Yeah, I've got the Ramsey Club match results. We'll mention Harry Young. Yeah, so Ramsey and District matches. Wednesday had their usual sweepstake or open match on St Mary's, and Harry Young blitzed it from peg 2 with 22-7 whip, maggot and caster. So well done, Harry. I know they've been struggling to get access to St Mary's, but I think it's all sorted out now. I think where the sugar beeters had been down, they'd sort of demolished the track and bits and bobs, but I think it's all okay again now. Runner-up was Stu Cheetham, £20.10 from peg 4. He's fished along on the hemp, so brilliant weight again. Third was John Locke with 16.10 from peg 1, and fourth was the main man Keith Raymond with 13.3 from peg 3. So decent fishing again. Then Sunday they fished the narrow section, which is just Ramsey 40 foot there. First was Keith Raymond. Keith, don't show us your teeth, with 9.14, 210 small fish for that, so they are small, really small. Second was Ray Myron with £8.2. Good to see Ray, because he's an old St Ives stalwart, and he fishes the over 60s at Rookery, and he's a real nice chap, Ray, and it's good to see him coming in the frame. And third was Malk Plant with 6.15 on his usual waggler and caster, I would have said. I don't know for definite, but normally that's the crack with Malk. And fourth was Dave Norville with £6.3. So not brilliant weights, but I think the wind probably affected that there. It's a bit open.
Yeah.
And the weather weren't ideal for that on
They
Sunday.
were blasted down there, I should imagine.
Yeah, they got their usual matches this week. Wednesday they're at St Mary's in the Open, and Sunday I think they're on St Mary's as well. Don't quote me on that one, but I think they are. So that's it really. I haven't really seen any other match results. Obviously I was more deep into the Winter League this week, but this Sunday we've organised a little match on Town Welland. Drawing at 8 in, I think it's called Barrier Bank Services, fishing 10 till 3. So if anyone's interested in a small open match, just give Tackle the Baits a call on 07824 878 492. And then next week is the March Fur and Feather Christmas match, and it's sold out with 100 odd pegs, and I think he's got a waiting list of about 15. So it just goes to show how popular that match is. Bob does a great job, loads of prizes. He obviously not known for Cheesy Bob for no reason, so there's plenty of cheese and biscuits and bottles of beer and stuff like that. It's a really, really good match, so looking forward to that. So that's about it really on the match results, Andy.
Cool. Right. Obviously, we need guys to get in touch with Alex, because what Alex does, he scans Facebook and pulls off the results and tries to publicise the clubs locally. So obviously, he can't do that all the time because it's impossible for him, plus to run his own business. So, guys out there, get in touch with us, and we will publicise absolutely everything. Right. I just want to mention one thing. I don't want to be negative, but I mentioned the Environment Agency at the beginning of the podcast. If anybody spots anything they're not sure about, the protocol is to phone the Environment Agency first. And on the back of your rod licences, there's an incident number. So this number is 0800 807 060. I'll repeat that again. That's 0800 807 060. So that is the incident number. If you're not sure of what's going on, if you've seen anything that you're not sure about on the bank, phone that number first. If it's something they're concerned about, they will give you an incident number. Now, this is the next thing to do. If you can't get through and you don't know what to do, myself, Alex, and my partner, Nina, we're all admin on Tales from the Tackle Shop Facebook page. If you see something going on and you're not sure what to do about it, you're more than welcome to message us directly on the Facebook page, okay? And we will get back to you with some advice. So that's just to help people. If you're a dog walker or you've got friends out and about, if you're not sure of what's going on, just get in touch with us and we can help you from there. Next week, we will give far more details about that topic. Right, Alex, I think that about wraps up for this week. We had the
Long old podcast,
the Spalt special, but I think everyone really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
From my perspective, listen to the match results every week. It just shows what an amazing and massive job it is for the organisers, for the competitors, and it just shows the skill that is out there with all the different anglers that take part within it. For so many anglers, of so many teams that have such a tight result, is quite remarkable. So that's really good. And also we've got all the other clubs that have their smaller matches as well. It's what makes it all tick. So I think everybody out there, you're doing fantastically well. The fen fishing is on fire for the silverfish, at least anyway. So it's good that we've got so many anglers out and about and enjoying the local waters. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, that's pretty much it, to be honest, mate. I think next week we'll obviously have the results from the match on the Welland, so we'll see how that goes. And yeah, look forward to Christmas.
Yeah, we've got a very special guest for the Christmas special, but we won't give it away. Right, I think we're there, so it just leaves me to wrap this up and say this has been Tales from the Tackle Shop, a Fenland Fishing TV production.